Hit the button.
Button's been hit.
Button has been hit. We're
You
hot
know
on
what
the
that
mic.
means.
We're live. We're not really live.
Live on tape from the Upper West Side.
Live from New York. It's Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Marathon Day.
Marathon Day. It's a big day. There's a bigger day this week, though. Tuesday, November 5th.
What's happening?
National Chinese Takeout Day.
Get out of here.
For real. Yeah.
Oh, what's your Chinese? Oh, I know you're Chinese.
You know, well, we've lived together for so long. I'm a General Tso's combo player.
You're always
gentleman.
a combo
Though
guy.
I will say there was a while where I thought the spice was doing bad things to my intestine. You know what I mean? The stomach.
Yeah.
So I went with sesame chicken instead.
What about when you're with do you ever get a bunch of things and split it, or are you always strictly combos?
No, I will. I'm, I'll do that with dumplings and things. But like, I'm really bad at sharing. Like, I do like my own little.
You like the
platter.
little combo meal.
Yeah, that I know and then I can finish it.
This
you know
is
what I mean?
mine, my allotted amount.
Fuck you, you don't get my rice.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, generally, I'm bad with sharing like that. But, Yeah.
Well, that's I get it. I kind of like too knowing that I can do whatever I want with this food
Right. This is mine.
Yeah.
You can have yours, unless it's too expensive. But honestly, by the time that you're getting like shit to share with everybody
I
anyway.
do like the shit to share though, because then you can get more.
Sure. Yeah.
Get a little noodles,
Yeah.
get a little rice, get a little
I
chicken,
respect
get a little
that.
veg.
Yeah. I guess I'm just never ordering Chinese food with enough people where that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's usually either us or like me and my girlfriend, and then at that point it's like two people aren't going to eat a whole fucking thing of General
Unless you
Tso's
really
chicken.
want to get, I don't know, sometimes it's fun to just binge. With my girlfriend, we will just binge noodles, broccoli, chicken,
Right.
all of it. Anyway, it's a big week. It's first week in November here.
Well, you can feel the fall is trying to come
Yes.
through. The
I mean,
chill.
it really is always this marathon weekend that I feel like it really kicks in. The weather's always a little cooler, and the city kind of feels alive. And
It's
you walk
nice.
through Central Park, and all the leaves are changing.
It's good, except I wish the temperature would get below like 80 degrees on some days. That was crazy last week.
It was wild last
Yeah,
week.
but-
Today felt normal.
Today was lovely. You're right. You know what else it is? It's a beautiful day to watch the Drew Carey show.
Yeah, well, that's every day.
That's every day.
Every
That's true.
single day.
Doesn't matter if it's the fall, the spring, the summertime. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, I wanted to do a little listener mailbag because we had talked about maybe if enough people send in emails,
Yeah.
we would talk about it. We've got enough, I think, that it's worth talking about. I want to do it, I guess, in reverse chronological order. Or no, chronological order, right? We want to go the oldest to the most recent.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I want to address our friend Chris first.
Absolutely.
Who I think we've said he lives in like multiple different locations.
Yeah.
I think one time we said he lived in Texas, and then this is Chris from Michigan has emailed in a couple of times.
Yes.
Super fan, it seems. He's given us tips on like the Drew Carey show wikis and like where to find episodes, and he emailed us back in September. So Chris, thank you. Sorry this is so delayed getting to it.
Right. I hope you're still
sorry.
listening.
I hope. I'm so sorry. I hope everything's going well. But yeah, so he was basically suggesting, he enjoys the podcast. Thank you so much. It's been hard to obviously watch the Drew Carey show like we've talked about, but the Plex ones, which have just recently gone up, are
Right.
still probably the highest quality episodes.
Yes.
But they have a lot of things cut out of them. Like we just watched the Drew Stock episode last podcast.
Right. Yes.
I would imagine, I haven't checked it, but I would imagine that whole ending sequence with Rocky Mountain Way
Yeah, that was probably cut.
gone.
It probably gets legally complicated. So again, that's something that only someone with an eagle eye like Chris, a real true devoted fan, would have caught. I mean, to be fair, we haven't really been watching it on Plex. We have our own copies.
We have our
we're
own
watching.
copies, which is also what he recommended. There's also, he says, like they still show it on traditional if you have Rewind TV or Antenna TV.
Yeah.
Which I thought Antenna TV is like the branding. I thought he literally meant like bunny ears. Like if you have one of those, it's just playing
Well, those
around.
still work.
Yeah, they still work. I just don't know.
You can still get like whatever the 3 channels. Because I will say we have a TV. My dad had a TV that's battery powered that you used to be able to like put in your trunk.
Did he
it was for
crank
like
it?
It was for camping, and you put like
just put
a couple
batteries
of
in.
double. Triple D's, whatever it is. Triple
Diners,
Ds.
drive-ins, and dives. You put into
you
the
could
yep,
throw
yep,
a few
yep.
in there. And there was an antenna, and you had to point it in the right direction. And we tried to use like even tinfoil on the end of it to try to pick up anything.
Sure.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Couldn't get anything.
Well,
so I don't know. You know what? It might just have been a piece of shit antenna, but I don't know.
well, I'm sure Antenna TV, the channel or whatever the hell it is not a piece of shit.
Right.
I'm sure it works great, and you can watch the Drew Carey Show on there. Thank you, Chris, for emailing in. He's emailed a couple times. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I hope I hope you keep listening. I want to read the next one, which is from a guy named Elias, and I'm just gonna. I hope he's okay with this. I'm just gonna read the whole email verbatim because I received it. So he sent this on a Saturday night. He said, "Hello, yes, this is real email. Just had to say this is great. Y'all hilarious. Great recaps. I rewatch Drew Carey Show every few years. Finally, someone started this podcast. I binged all the earlier episodes. Haha, I'm starting my own Drew Carey Show podcast just to have the duel for the right to be named which is the greatest podcast ever. Parentheses, evil, maniacal, comical laugh. Great work. Keep up the entertaining content."
Oh, man.
Thank you, Elias. I want to introduce you respectfully to punctuation. It's things that like periods when you're ending a thought or commas. No, I'm kidding. It's I appreciate it. I would like him to start his own secondary.
Yeah,
Drew Carey Show
I wouldn't
podcast.
mind. I think it only makes it better.
Yeah.
You know, have a little
Friendly competition.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll go on each other's pod. We'll guest.
I imagine that your podcast would just be a long, rambling line of just
It's just
plot
one guy
and then-
just talking for an hour straight, and there, of course,
with no
there's-
breaks.
There's evil. Well, the only breaks you get are the evil maniacal,
maniacal,
comical laughs. But otherwise, thank you, Elias.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
you emailing
writing
it.
it.
And then our most recent email was from a woman named Amanda. She wanted to thank us and said that she listens to this podcast, and it reminds her of watching the show with her dad, who unfortunately passed away. But, you know, she loves listening again and watching again along with us. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Amanda. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Very sweet.
Touched me. It really did.
Yeah.
I never think of us doing this bullshit as like it would actually mean something
Right.
emotionally
But
to
then you
someone
think
else.
about just like how connected. I don't know. There's a few shows in my life that I definitely connect to
With
that
family.
with family,
Absolutely.
specific family members that have even passed on, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, every time I watch seasons 1 through 9 of The Simpsons, I think of my Godfather,
Sure.
or like anything.
I think
these
of like
sorts
being
things.
a kid with my immediate family watching Full House and
Right.
things like that. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. I'm glad we can do that for you, and I hope you're doing really well, Amanda. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
Thank you.
And if you want to email in, you can do that at clevelandrockspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear whatever the hell you've got to say, and we'll respond to it at some point. I think when we get enough more emails,
Yeah,
we'll do this again.
We'll do it again.
We'll make it a regular segment. That was Mailbag.
Insert mailbag jingle.
Mailbag!
Mailbag.
Mailbag! How about that?
Bag.
I want my mailbag. My mailbag. Jesus.
Chili's don't sue us.
No.
Although we wouldn't be able to take. Is Chili's the ones going out of business, or
That was Red Lobster, wasn't it? And then now they're-
TGI Fridays now too.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I like their mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, they do that. They do.
That's the one reason I don't want them
And
to
you know
go
what?
underwater.
That's probably why they're going underwater. It
Yeah.
turns out you can't only do mozzarella sticks.
Fuck it, we'll just give you the apps for free. I feel like that's what goes on at a TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Shit, I don't care. You want nachos? So we are on episode 15 and 16 of the second season. I almost said the 20th season. Sometimes it feels like that, but I don't think they did 20 seasons of this show.
Oh man.
Yeah. No.
20 seasons is like, that's reserved for like, again, The Simpsons, or maybe like they're doing King of the Hill now for that long, right? They're bringing it back.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, for the
I don't
reboot
know
seasons.
how long that went.
Yeah. Probably in double digits. We're probably
But you
looking at,
can't
like,
do
12.
that long with people.
No.
Cartoons, it's the only way you can do it.
I want what? Well, no. I guess it's Always Sunny, right? Is the longest running sitcom. They've
God,
done it for
and
like 15 years.
and that's the other one. Think about how much they've physically changed back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah. Well, and then you have all the obviously people talk about it, but who plays Mac on that? I can't remember
His
name.
name's just Mac. That's just
Not
fucking,
Mac.
It's just Mac.
No, I should
Dennis
know.
is a.
No.
It's not. Wait, no, not like Dennis. Is the guy's name Dennis?
No, because Dennis is the name of the other character.
Dennis is Dennis's name.
No.
No, but I'm saying Dennis is Mac's name.
No. You think that they had a guy on the show who's as an actor, his name was Dennis, and the other character that played opposite him,
he looks better as a Mac.
Yeah,
Dennis couldn't pull off Mac, but
No.
Dennis can pull off Dennis.
Nope. Mac.
I mean, Dennis could pull off. Fuck. You all know what I'm talking about.
Rob McElhenney.
Rob Mac. Oh,
Just
Mac.
to put
There's
a
Mac. Okay.
Yep. But anyway, I was gonna say he's gone through actual physical changes. Remember, he did the whole season where he was fat, and then the whole season where he got ripped like a Marvel superhero.
Right.
Yeah. Could you imagine a season of the Drew Carey show where Drew just got really
Drew just
fucking
got really,
ripped?
really fat,
Or it just got even like Nutty Professor style. No, but unfortunately not. We only have 9 seasons of this show, and I don't think there's any weird body transformation.
They really do want you to think that Drew is just like, I mean, because they really put upon him all these fat jokes.
Absolutely,
constantly.
there's a lot in these.
And I look at Drew and I'm like, I mean, he looks all right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call him. I don't think he's that fat.
Do we think he's like 90s fat though? You know what I mean? I
guess
feel like there was a different
was like-
standard 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Than there is
We just
now.
weren't making him as fat.
No, exactly. I mean, look at Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Oh, that's good.
Even in just 10 years, the idea of comically fat man.
Yeah.
Has, yeah.
It used to be like a lot more directed at the beer belly. Mm-hmm. And now it's
Now
just
it's all over.
giant pudginess.
Now I'm a blob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so we started with episode 15. These titles, man, I know we talked about it a couple episodes ago.
It kind of pissed me off.
It kind of pissed me off just how uninspired, and also they just reveal the whole thing. It's literally called Drew Blows His Promotion.
I know. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, cool. So I just know what happens.
I just
now.
know the ending
We
now.
can't
Great.
be even like a little creative.
The whole time I'm watching the episode, I'm like, all right, what's going to fuck him? What's going to I mean, you have to know he's going to get fucked.
and you
anyway,
know,
but-
you hear him go, "Oh, I'm getting a promotion." You're like,
No,
I know. I know.
I know you think you get
You
a
think
promotion.
you know. You don't.
Yeah. So opens up at the office, as you could imagine with the promotion episode. This whole episode's at the office.
Yeah, for the most part. It's
just like varying degrees.
Winfred Louder centric.
Yeah. Of the office, but they do some interesting stuff here. Opens at the office. Hank the security man.
Yeah.
What happened to Chuck?
Yeah, I like that we just introduced this new grizzled old-timey security guard. But not for long, really, because Drew brings him into his cubicle, sits him down. He's like, you're fired. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, I fired you last week. Like, you gotta leave.
And
no.
then his response is, no, I'm not. I'm not
He's
fired.
this old man who refuses. He's like, firing takes 2 people. And I said no.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
disagree.
Do you think a job, like you need consent, like both ways for a job?
Well, then apparently he's also divorced, and
He's not divorced though. She's divorced.
Yeah,
That's how he goes. He's like, I didn't consent. So Drew and him are going back and forth about whether or not he's actually fired. And I guess like the whole rationale for him firing him is like he's very sort of stubborn with the customers,
right,
overzealous.
Yes. There's who's this bald guy that always is coming to the office?
You know, I just have him down in my notes as coworker. I don't know if we have a
coworker,
name for him.
bald guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the same. He's coming up in all the episodes. We really should have a name for this guy
at this point, and I don't think we do.
But either way, he comes in, and apparently he owes Drew's $10. So as an aside, while Drew's talking to Hank, Drew's like, "Hey, you owe me that $10," and bald guy's like,
I'll get it to you next week.
"Yeah, next week. I can't pay you money I don't have."
Mm-hmm.
And
Hank decides then that this is the opportunity for him to show his value.
Yes.
And he basically shakes this guy down for Drew.
Yeah.
Be like, open up your wallet. Let's see what's in your wallet. If you really don't got the $10.
He really did the tough guy, security guy move where you kind of cock your head back a little bit, right? You're kind of like, just like tilt it back, look up a little bit, but you're also looking down at them. Mm-hmm. It's a real tough guy.
It's an alpha situation.
Yeah, real alpha body language.
Yeah. And then, Drew gets his $10, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And then
He gets his $10.
Hank is no longer fired. He doesn't work in security anymore. Drew says he's going to sign him up to work in collections, which is the perfect little button, I think, for the opening. I loved it. But we never see Hank again.
No, that's it. Maybe as far as
maybe
we
at
know.
some point. What happened to Chuck is a great question.
That's really one of it's Hank looks like he predates Chuck. Also, they
for
were
sure.
not wearing the same kind of
uniform.
uniform at all.
No. But as we do know, Chuck, I think, takes his job very seriously. So I wonder if his uniform
Yeah.
looks a certain way because he wants it to. But anyway,
Or maybe Hank's more of a behind the scenes guy, and
sure.
Chuck's got to wear the sport coat.
The
'cause
front-facing.
He's a front-facing guy.
Yeah. I like that theory.
I don't know.
Anyway, we start with Lewis and Oswald walking in, getting insulted by Mimi.
Yeah.
She, I guess, is going through some bad times with the Sally Mae makeup people that she works with.
Yeah.
You know, they want to try to get her out of the business, it seems, and take back her stuff. She's not selling as much.
She's not pushing product.
Push that product.
And so anyway, she happens to have something she might be able to sell to these people. To Lewis and Oswald.
Yes, she starts complimenting them and bringing them on in and trying to sell them a cologne.
Yeah, and it works to some degree because they
Oswald
are
does it.
stupid.
Yeah, they are. We have to acknowledge, as much as I love them, they are deep down dumb.
They
men.
are just perfectly stupid, especially Oswald, who then buys this cologne for $10 and proceeds to douse himself in it. She tells him it's French because it says sample,
but she goes, it's simple.
And I've never seen anyone pour that much.
I don't think
cologne.
he knows what cologne is. The way that he's just like
He
shaking
applied
it out
it
like
to
it's
his
fucking,
armpits on his jacket.
like it's barbecue sauce. He's just dumping it. It's crazy. And yeah, it apparently reeks because Kate's there and Lewis, and they both make like the most disgusting faces you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, apparently it smells like a cigar that's been sitting in a urinal.
You know, the best smell in the world, of course. Yeah. So anyway, I guess they decide they're gonna maybe use it on Drew for a prank. Drew's birthday is coming up.
I guess they annually just prank the shit out of him.
That's
on
what it
his
seems
birthday.
to be. Yeah, they've got like a whole scheme where they're gonna make him think that he's lost 30 pounds and then gained it all back in like 2 days.
Yeah, they're making his scale read 30 pounds lighter, but they're taking his pants out.
Yes.
Which is perfect.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, they're gonna have this prank war. That we don't really know what Kate's gonna do yet. At this point,
she's thinking it up.
really cocky though about it. And at that time, Drew walks in and says that he basically says that he has been promoted.
Yes, and then he
Then he reveals that
walks it back a little bit.
he's
in the running.
He's
for
in
a
the running,
promotion.
and he's got a really good shot to become the regional personnel director.
I love it. For 3 of their different department stores. I'm
the-
imagining in the
Ohio,
Cleveland area, the Ohio area.
Metro Cleveland area.
The Metro Cleveland area. So yeah, no, apparently the board wants to give him this promotion. All that he has to do is update the department store training videos for them.
Yeah.
Apparently they're really out of date, which I could imagine, like Kate says and Oswald says, they all look like they're like, you know, in the 50s, and they describe like the people who are in them, and it's exactly Drew's style.
Yeah.
Oh, they got these big bulky glasses and flat
Crew cuts and the skinny ties.
Yeah, and then it's a shot of Drew in that exact look.
Skinny ties had a moment. They came
Yeah.
back.
Did they?
Yeah, they came back. Everyone was doing skinny ties like 5 years ago, and now we're going back to big fat ties.
Well, now we're going back to big everything. I think pants,
big
and suits
shoulders,
and
big pants,
Yeah.
big ties.
Everybody's gonna be looking like Stop Making Sense, Drew David Byrne.
Yes,
That's all it's gonna be.
Anyway, so Drew's big pitch is, yes, he has to update these training videos, and if he can do this successfully and present them to the board, looks like he's got this promotion in the bag.
I still don't understand why this would be his task for that promotion.
Well, personnel, I feel like Drew is basically HR, and like anytime we got to take these kinds of videos, I feel like at
It
work
comes
it's
from
always
HR.
HR hounding
Yeah.
me. You haven't done this yet.
It just seems like such a weird creative project but I guess HR, here I am limiting the human resources department. They can be creative. They can have a little flair. You know, get fired in a fancy way.
Yeah, I just like that because when I think of these HR videos, like they're obviously very much like outsourced to production companies, and like we even have one for the company that we both work for that stars somebody,
a guy that we worked with in
college film.
So yeah, we both work for the same media conglomerate.
Yes,
and they have the same sexual harassment training for the state of New York that we both do. And we have a Philadelphia actor. Oh fuck, I can't remember his name.
Mike.
Shout out Mike. He he plays the creepiest guy you've ever imagined. Just going over and being like, "Hey, fellas, watch this," and tucking in a woman's tag on the back of her dress as he like leans in. Oh man, it is the nastiest shit. But he plays it really well, and I hope he got paid well because I've done that 3 years in a row with the same video. So I'm really hoping.
Now that's his whole personality.
Yeah,
I'll only ever typecast him from here on out as creep.
Yeah. I'm just going to look at him and go, gross.
But, so I would think, I didn't realize that, it's weird to me then that this isn't, that they're like, let me produce this in-house with my friends.
Yeah, I'm going to star in it.
As we come to learn that is Drew's plan.
Yeah.
So
we come back literally to the office and we see Drew. The way they shot this is interesting because we have like the way they shot cameras showing you like the camera in the scene.
Yes.
And we also have that camera.
There's a roving camera.
Yeah, and we see that moving camera as well showing you like the actual video. Yeah. And then we also cut in between to like the office scene.
Because the video that they're doing for the office training does have like a distinct look. It's colored a little nicer. It's a little sharper. Mm-hmm. And that's coming from the roving camera that you kind of see in the scene, and you can't really tell at first until they cut to that wide shot, and you're like, oh, that's neat, that's cool.
It's a fun little way to shoot this.
I almost made a comment while we were watching it. I'm like, why does this look different? Yeah, I thought it was like the rip. And then come to find out it was just the way they shot it.
It's the way that they stylized it. But yeah, so we see Drew and Kate literally like starring in it to start. It's Drew Carey's Sexual Harassment 101 with Winfred Louder.
Right.
And we see Drew and Kate interacting, and I guess he hits on Kate like as a joke to start it.
Yeah, and like right away she comes and asks him a question, and he's like, sorry, I was staring at your
I was staring at your breasts. Hi, Drew Carey. And then we see a couple different scenes with the whole gang. Oswald plays a delivery guy, and we learn about the intonation of different things.
Yes.
Kate basically wants her package overnight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. You know how you interact with the delivery guy.
Yeah, you know how you want to fuck the delivery guy.
The guy who doesn't work at the fucking company.
That's true. No, it's still sexual harassment because it's a workplace.
I guess, but like it's not even like UPS isn't a contracted employer of.
That's true. It's not involved in Winfred Louder.
It's just a delivery guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying go out and sexually harass delivery guys.
I hear you loud and clear. The FedEx people aren't people. We can say whatever we want to them.
That's not what I'm getting.
That's exactly what you said. But yeah, then we get Lewis and a woman who we've never seen before, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And he's just demonstrating good touch versus bad touch. And I gotta be honest here. I think both touches are bad in this situation.
Yeah.
He's talking about like, oh, excuse me, miss, your hair clip's falling out, and then grabs her hair clip from her head.
No, you can't do that.
No.
Maybe you could do that in the 90s.
I don't think you could do that in the 90s.
I would not be doing that anytime today. That's crazy.
And then the bad touch example that we see is him just like sniffing the fuck out of the lady's hair. He just goes in there like a goddamn vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. Maybe you'd be able to get away with that because it's a bit.
Yeah. Your Honor, I was joking.
Your Honor, that was a bit.
Your Honor.
No one would sniff like that.
Honestly, if I have to put myself in the shoes of a woman with long hair, which is hard for me to do, I would just be I don't think I would be like offended. I would just be stunned.
That someone sniffed your hair
that
like
he's got that sort of like intake.
Yeah.
It was a deep breath. That's all I'm saying. He really got a whiff. I hope whatever I put in my hair was working that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope. And then after the Lewis scene, they do go to Mimi.
Mm-hmm.
Mimi and Mr. Wick.
Star turn Mr. Wick.
Who's putting on the spot on Sean Connery impression. I mean, he absolutely crushed it. Came out talking about, I guess in this one they were trying to explain, maybe, was it about like coming on to your coworker? Because he was basically asking her to
go to a motel.
To a motel or come. He's like, I got a bottle of cognac.
And Drew like has to stop the thing and be like, you can't do the accent.
And then he goes right over to he's like, what about Michael Caine? And then he starts doing a pretty spot on Michael Caine. Not as good, but a decent Michael Caine.
Do you think the writers...
Like, sorry, I have range.
Do you think the writers were like, all right, he's British, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the accents that we could have, like, what are the actors that people would know? And then it just gave him a list.
Right.
Like,
Well,
it's a pretty good Connery, I do have to say.
It was a great Connery.
Yeah.
Connery used to be like the Donald Trump, I imagine, of impressions. Everyone does a Trump now.
Yeah.
And
Everybody at one point
was doing a
Connery.
Connery.
Yeah, and then so the other problem with this scene is that basically he's supposed to be the bad example, and then Mimi's the one who says no, thank you. But they literally can't get Mimi to say no to going out to a motel with Wick.
If we can recall, Mimi has a big fat crush on Mr.
So she
Wick.
goes, "Let's go to my house. It's quicker."
I have beers.
I have beers. Mimi, you look in those eyes and tell me that you could say no to that. Eventually, they do get her to nail her line, though, of being like, harassment is a crime and you can be sued, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and at that point, they perfectly pivot out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the other thing I want to talk about how they're shooting it, too, is it's great that they're shooting it in this like video perspective, but it's obviously still in front of the live studio audience.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're really used to, if like a sitcom today or a lot of sitcoms were to tackle this scene, it would just be like a pre-taped thing they were showing on a TV. And of course, like the audience would laugh, but maybe they'd be showing it on a television, like shooting it in front of the, it was just perfect.
It really is good. They
And
get the best of both worlds with it.
Yeah, so perfect transition to then the end of the video, Mimi going through her spiel, and there is Drew and Lewis, Oswald, Kate. They're all in his living room.
We dissolve and we're watching it from that
The finished
office
product
to his bed or his living room. Yes.
The only time that we're not in the office this episode.
Yes. And we see, and Drew feels really confident about all these videos. He thinks he nailed it. He's going to present them to the board that day.
Yep.
And he heads on out with his VHS tapes.
He has like 4 VHS tapes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he made so many. But he
Well,
walks
they're all different things, right? Because we get that, and then we get like a safety training video. Like I'm imagining there's a series of these.
Yes.
I guess the VHS really does date this so hard in terms of like how long ago this show was.
Yeah, which then leads to how complicated this next prank
This next bit
had
is.
to have been.
We learned
Shout
that
out Kate.
Shout out Kate. It's not meant for public consumption, but she took Drew's safety training video where he is the star of the whole thing, walks around and shows like different office safety issues. She takes it and she had somebody in like a sound studio that she's friends with add sound effects to it. So she puts in the tape to show the boys and no sound effects come. It's just Drew sitting at the desk.
It's the regular.
It's the regular tape. And it's then that she realizes Drew has taken her prank video to present to the Winfred Louder board. So she we go in and Drew's there and he's very proud and presenting himself and he's like, I think you'll find that these videos are up to date and useful and
honestly the whole board's all about it because as we know, like Mrs. Louder loves Drew.
Yeah,
she already did. She has for many episodes now, and Drew's a company man.
I think it's a weird love-hate relationship though because he was her assistant for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't really work out eye to eye. Like he has issues, I think, with how the company operates a little bit sometimes, like the strike thing.
Right.
But generally she likes him. She's concerned as to why the videos need to be updated. And then
right. She didn't understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the midst of all this, Kate calls the board. And Wick picks up and Drew. He tells Drew, "Oh, it's Kate for you." And nah, just ignore it, whatever.
I'll call her later.
Yeah. So, and then they start playing the video, and it's the same safety video that we just watched, except Drew Carey is ripping ass the entire time.
he goes to cross his legs.
Yeah. I can't do a good fart noise right now.
Insert fart noise.
Insert a fart noise.
We won't fart. I hope you're farting along with us at home.
Yeah. But yeah, basically every step he climbs a ladder. He's showing how to properly take off and put on a water jug. So there's just a lot of bending down. There's a lot of opportunities for flatulence.
Right.
The flatulence.
It was like, make sure you bend with your knees, not
perfect opportunity for a fart noise. So the board loves it. For what it's worth.
Mrs. Loudermilk is crying,
they're
laughing,
cracking up. It's incredible. Drew warns them about the ladder scene, and they all barrel over. He's thoroughly embarrassed though by the whole situation. I feel for Drew in this.
I have a sense of humor, guy. They're loving it.
Yeah, but
here, and
is he going to get the promotion off of it?
In this moment, you have to, if you're Drew, you have to pretend that you did this. Be like, oh, look at this, and then actually check out this other video, though.
Yeah.
Now that we got the jokes out of the way, here's the real thing.
Yeah, he was so shell-shocked he couldn't lean into it. That's the problem. You got to act like the farts are all intentional, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, especially because they loved it. But
Yeah, so-
next scene, we're in the office, and Drew obviously immediately thinks it's Lewis and Oswald.
Starts scolding everybody. The whole gang's in the office.
Yes.
He's scolding them, and he's like, I can't believe you would do that, embarrass me.
And then Kate comes up.
And we learned it was actually maybe her involved.
Yes, and for some reason that crushes him a little more.
Yeah. He doesn't expect it, I don't think, from her. So,
but it sounds like they all want to fuck with him. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe, Drew, maybe you got to check your friends.
So I think at this point it is his birthday proper today.
Yeah.
Right?
He's eating a cake all by himself.
Yeah, they got him a cake, and he's eating it all by himself at his desk. As mad as he is, he's still not mad enough to not eat their cake.
Right.
And it's then, like, in this moment that Drew realizes he's going to try to call the board.
He's going to try and make it better.
And, make amends, give a plea.
He demands another meeting with the board right now.
And he gets it.
Yeah. And he marches upstairs.
Mrs. Louder takes him in and everything. As he marches upstairs, the gang all runs back, and we learn that the cake that they got, I didn't realize what kind of cake it was. Do you want to?
It was a tofu cake.
Mm-hmm. That had been left in Oswald's car.
Which that sounds inadvertent.
For sure.
But it was so basically they just described it as a spoiled bean cake.
Yes, yeah.
That Drew had just ate literally half of.
This time bomb that Drew Carey now has in his body.
Yes.
So he goes up there to the board and starts making his plea, and like the farting video wasn't really me. And then we hear his stomach start to turn. It's such like a funny physical bit of like the one thing he can't do is the thing that he absolutely has to do.
Yes. The perfect pan up from the belly button to his concerned face.
Mm-hmm. He realizes immediately what's going on. They're all trying, they ask him to sit down to make his case. And first of all, he tries to leave.
Not that this matters, but in my notes here I wrote, Drew has to shit or fart? ? And I'm like, I guess I don't really know what the implication was. Is he going to shit his pants or is he going to fart?
Well, I mean, I think the fear was a fart, right? Because if he
guess
farts in front of the board, it's game over.
But if he shits,
it's even worse.
It's also game over.
Yeah.
And I feel like a spoiled bean cake is the kind that probably runs right through.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So I just, the way they were playing it up, he was really clenching his cheeks. Mm-hmm. The body language was that he can't
tense.
move. He was shuffling.
Yeah.
He couldn't sit, or then once he sat, he couldn't stand up.
Right. And of course Mrs. Louder, none the wiser as to what's going on, like invites him to sit down and make his case, and he does miraculously without ripping ass, and they decide they're going to give him the promotion. They decide that Drew is going to be the regional personnel manager for Winfred Louder after all this.
Yes, for 1 month. Because in 1 month, the other store in the region is closing down, and then the other one is accidentally going to burn. So ultimately,
I missed that. They basically implied
that they were going to burn the
down
second
for an
store.
arson.
Yes.
Fuck.
So ultimately,
matter.
Drew gets his promotion. He gets a little pay bump and the title, but only for a month because the places are.
And then he shuffles on out. He leaves a wallet behind, and he just lets him take it, and he darts out the door, presumably to go run to a bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's the whole episode basically. A lot of fart humor in this fucking episode. I was kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of like this.
Yeah, I can get by. Oh, the video was actually
video's
great.
fantastic.
That was funny.
Yeah.
But that had to feel like an incredible shit.
Yeah.
Or fart, whatever it was that he released.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine though it was
probably a shit.
It was probably messy.
Yeah. I think you're right. Whatever it was.
And then we do close. There was a credit scene where we were back in the office, and all I have, for some reason, the only note I took was Oswald makes minimum wage plus 5 cents.
I have no notes on what it was, so I'm going to trust you. He's explaining to Mimi shipping, right?
Yes,
That's what it
because
is.
she has to send a package to Spain.
Yeah.
It must be for Antonio
Banderas.
But so anyway, he's like, "Oh, I can." She's like, "Get this to Spain," and just hands it to him. He's like, "Oh, I can't get it to Spain. We only do Ohio and Indiana." He's like, "I can get this to the Pennsylvania border, though."
Yeah.
And then worldwide shipping can get it to
Jamaica.
New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey, and then Jamaica.
And then New Jersey is universal shipping, and they can get it to Bermuda.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she was like, and then what happened? She's like, I don't know, you know anyone in Bermuda? So there's no way to ship anything to Europe from Ohio. You've heard it here.
It is what it is. We have breaking news from the man on the inside. Hey, everybody, this episode of Cleveland Rocks is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. TJ, you got a face. You got a beautiful fucking face.
Oh, buddy, you're going to make me blush.
Yeah. And
if you can't, for those at home, I'm blushing right now.
And you can see that you're blushing because you shave your face.
Oh, you better believe
I live the beard lifestyle, but you have like recently started shaving your face again. It's good. You got a good jawline.
I missed it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't grow much in the way of facial hair. Now, I do grow some, and that's where this kind of comes into play. You know, I could never get the exact right length.
Right.
I always struggled, and I always hated going the clean shave with the razors, and you got to dispose.
Yeah, there's a lot of upkeep needed, a lot of technical equipment needed.
Right.
Our friends at Manscaped helped you out. Not a problem with their new product, the Chairman Pro. That's right.
Yes, the electric foil shaver. You know, a lot of people think Manscaped is just for balls. I always thought, honestly, my introduction to Manscaped was years ago. I just was looking for something to help shave my balls.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have been using this product, this particular shaver that I've had.
The lawnmower, I believe.
Yeah, one of the lawnmowers I've been using for 5 or 6 years now. It's just excellent. World-class product. So then whenever it came into play that they were doing a face shaver.
Yeah. You figured the same quality that you get on your balls, you can also get on your face.
Why not treat my face like my balls?
There you go. Yeah, we've been saying it for years. Manscaped really outdid themselves with the Chairman Pro. We're talking a skin-safe 4-blade foil. We're talking a stubble trimmer, so that way you can still show, TJ, that you have a little bit of testosterone.
Exactly. I don't like the clean shave. It gets a little too baby-faced. This gives you that perfect essence of masculinity, but still keeps it nice and tight and clean, just like you wanted it.
Absolutely. They've got a bunch of stuff with it, and the best thing is it's waterproof. The trimmer specifically, you can use them in the shower, clean yourself up, one-stop shop, or use it at a sink. You know, I think you should look at yourself probably when you're shaving. Hot tip. Hot tip, look at your face when you're shaving.
It helps.
Yeah.
And my favorite feature on the razors, and it was the same thing on the lawnmower that I just mentioned, the spotlight, the little LED spotlight,
the little flashlight.
So you can see every little detail on your skin.
Can't miss a thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick up the Chairman Pro or the lawnmower, or if I can just shout it out, the crop preserver, you can get all of that and more at manscaped.com. And if you use our promo code Cleveland, that's CLEVELAND at checkout, you'll get 20% off your order plus free shipping.
How about that?
Keganga, what a bargain.
Yeah. You can only get that here.
Yes.
Don't even listen.
Don't listen to other podcasts. I'm sure it's not similar.
That's our world-class deal for you. 20% off.
And free shipping.
Free shipping.
Only at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring our podcast. Did you enjoy this episode more than the next episode?
Good question.
Yeah.
Next episode, it was a little more complicated.
Yes.
I kind of liked that.
Yeah. It keeps you like intellectually busy. Like
I get
you were like, I got to connect dots here. I didn't anticipate this.
For as intellectually busy as I could stay.
Yeah.
It with the Drew Carey show, I guess. I don't know. Look, I like the fart stuff, but no, I think the next episode was interesting because there were a few moments I was watching it. I'm like, what the fuck are we watching? The last episode felt like par for the course.
Yeah.
Not that this next one doesn't, but I'm just like, I didn't expect. Kind of felt. Kind of felt dark at one point where I was like, he lost everything.
For sure. It's called Check Out Drew's Old Flame. I didn't realize how old the flame was going to be, I think, in the title. I really thought it might be...
At first, I was like, oh, Lisa again?
Yeah, they already brought her back. I thought it was going to be like a girlfriend we've already seen, or like one of like the many that came in this season after Lisa that's like kind of like one and dones that you're going to say, who the fuck is that?
Well, because everything we've been led to believe at this point is Drew doesn't date.
Right.
Or he hasn't been a dater. So, of course... Then I guess it makes sense it would be like a fling for a week in junior high.
Yeah, which is what it ends up being. So we open with Drew getting a new car. Come on down. You're the next contestant. He doesn't even know. But yeah, he's buying a new Buick LeSabre.
Yeah, 91. How much here, do our best prices right here. How much are you going to bet for a 91 Buick LeSabre? Right now.
Well, no, okay. I was going to say in the year 1996.
How much would it cost in 2024?
Oh, Jesus. If it's any more than $2,000, I feel like you're getting ripped
I'm
off.
going to go 500.
Yeah. I think that's a fair bet.
But actually, I'll go 1,999.
Ah, fuck you. No, I should have known. I lost my own game. Yeah. But he's buying a new Buick LeSabre. He's got seat covers for it. And Mimi's making fun of him. It looks like he's, just saving animal skin to eat. I think is the joke.
Yes, like, that's it.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, that's where all the nutrients are.
Right.
But no, he's getting ready to put these new seat covers on a new car. We interact with Kate. She just came back from a trip to Atlantic City, it seems, with her grandmother.
With her grandma and some guy she's dating, I guess.
And she's like, it was great until she got too drunk and told me, that guy still can bone like he's 65 or whatever. Old people sex, Yeah. It's what a joy.
I'm sure it is for them. I mean, can you imagine you get to that age at some point? It's probably been years.
Yeah,
for them.
I think some couples use lube. Older couples use WD-40.
Also, shout out vacationing in Atlantic City if you're from if you're from anywhere that isn't fucking New Jersey or Eastern Pennsylvania.
Did you do Jersey Shore? No, because I know your family does the
We
South.
went a couple times. We did go to Atlantic City, but it was more of a Jersey Shore road trip.
Okay.
So we drove to Atlantic City. We started there and we just drove south, and then we took the ferry from Cape May to like Lewiston, Delaware, and kept driving.
Nice.
But no, we didn't really do the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
But like even people in Jersey or Eastern PA are like, man, who's going to fucking Atlantic City?
Well, yeah, I mean, I never really did Atlantic City, but we would do the Jersey Shore proper. Shout out Seattle City, baby.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it was like if people out in like Ohio or Western Pennsylvania saw it as a big trip.
At some point it had to be, because like I've heard stories of my grandma or people going, and it's always like, well, they have convention centers for like working,
a whole lot of gambling.
Lots of like shows, now shows go everywhere, but then a lot more shows would go and, you can go see, now it's like go see Jay Leno at the Borgata. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. If
Tracy Morgan
that
live on a Tuesday night.
But apparently it used to be. Michael Jordan in the 90s was famous for, I think it was between like Bulls, Knicks and a playoff game, went from New York to Atlantic City to go gamble.
Hell yeah. No, I mean, it's a fun time. We should do an Atlantic City trip.
Yeah. I mean, I do like it. Yeah. And I don't mean to disparage Atlantic City. It's not like a place that I'd go to just lounge on the beach.
No.
The beach is an afterthought, but I definitely it's a casino. It's that's still fun.
It's a fun time,
right?
I think absolutely. But anyway, it's probably less fun when your grandmother's telling you about how she's going to Pound Town,
right?
But so we've realized now also Kate has been putting away like a lot of things on layaway. It sounds like, or like she's doing like a structured payment program, and she thinks it's great because she gets to keep all the money and worry about it later. But all of her checks, all of her payments are due on the same day in 2 weeks. Right. So she's like fucked with money for a minute, it seems. She starts panicking about that. And then speaking of money, we get Drew's bank calling him to basically say one of the checks that he was using to pay for the car has bounced.
Yeah.
And it's from a woman he's never heard of before.
Well, they found out he didn't have any money in his account because she wrote, or not necessarily, this check a check bounced that was written to him.
Yes.
From, I guess, a yard sale that he was having.
We
or
put
something.
it together that it was like a yard sale that one of his friends collected the check for him or something, and he didn't realize what it was. But still, this woman's money is no good, and Drew can't really put down the car without the money.
Yeah.
So, which makes me wonder how much.
Well, he does say transfer it from my savings.
Yeah.
And
then they go, there's a fee for that, and he's aware. Then there's a phone call fee.
And then there's a double
multiple
fee.
That's how it is, though.
Luckily, Joe Biden's cracking down on
there
all
you
that.
go. There you go.
Ending whatever he had that whole fees thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember them talking about that. And I was like,
well, no, that was also it's the thing with like the FTC is now like the gym membership fees. You have to be able to cancel it online and stuff.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Finally
Anyway.
cracking down on fees in 2024.
Don't forget November 5th. It is National Chinese Takeout Day. Anyway, but yes. He's got all these fees. We then go to the Warsaw. Drew was apparently scheduled a meeting. He was able to get the phone number of the woman off the check. And he's going to try to have her meet him at the Warsaw so that he can get this money.
Right.
The guys are there. Kate's trying to be frugal as can be. She's squirting ketchup from the bottle into a plastic bag to take home with her.
That's how the bad times are.
Struggle bus, you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
feels like a college sort of sophomore move, I would think, to like take the fucking bag
ketchup.
of ketchup.
At that point, just take the ketchup.
Yeah,
out.
just take the bottle.
You know how many bottles of hot sauce I have in my fridge from fucking Chipotle? Just put it in the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's, whatever. She's committed to it. She then goes with Lewis and Oswald to get old meat being thrown out at a grocery market, I think.
Yeah.
And they take Drew's new car, the Buick LeSabre.
Right.
Go off with that. The woman arrives. We learn her name is Kira, right?
Yes.
Kyra?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
It's Kira Sims.
Kira Sims. Well, that's her maiden name. It's different, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, which by the way, I didn't realize she's married also. In this.
Well, she isn't. In the early scene, they established that she got divorced.
Oh, yes. So the
I
check is under a different name, but her maiden name is Sims. And then that makes Drew realize that he knew Akira Sims in junior high, and they dated for, I think he literally says like a week.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, yeah, that's me, and all this stuff. And then they kind of kick it off, and we start to learn that the check situation is all of the checks bounced because her roommate stole her checkbook, and he's like in some deep gambling debts.
Right.
And she's like so concerned about getting this money back. She's also concerned because her address is on all of the checks.
And now she's got all these guys, I guess, hounding
These
her.
bad sharks.
Yes,
Yeah.
hounding her place because I guess he's been bouncing checks all around town.
Yeah. So Drew, the good guy that he is like, hey, why don't you stay at my place?
That's a psycho move.
Until the heat dies down. It is, but it's also a horny move. We need to understand. Yes. I think Drew saw an opportunity with a woman that he once had a fling with when he was, I'm going to say 13.
Right.
And was like, I can rekindle this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, he invites his old flame to just live with him for a week. And she says yes. And comes back with him. Takes his bedroom.
Before we get there.
Yes.
We have to establish that for some reason... I don't know what they were doing. So while they were driving Kate, Lewis and Oswald in Drew's 91 Buick LeSabre, we're going to use the full name.
Absolutely.
Every time. I guess they got in an accident because they came back in and they're all fucked up and they're like, boy, those airbags come at you quick.
Come at you. Yeah.
So in this scene, we seem to have established that Drew's car has now been in an accident.
And then
just remember this.
Well, but it's never addressed again, really.
No, because then in the next scene, he does talk about taking his car.
Yeah, to work the next day.
It's
bizarre.
That's how he finds out about the whole...
Maybe he got repairs on it in the 12 hours that we don't see. I don't know.
Right.
It's crazy. But yeah, so we go back to Drew's house. It's the next morning. He's getting ready for work. Kira comes down. She's staying in his bedroom.
He's sleeping on the couch. She's staying in the bedroom.
She's impressed. He's got, and I didn't realize this either, he's got an alarm clock that's running off potatoes.
Right.
And he's just like, yeah, don't forget they're a good source of protein and of power or something like that.
I've always wanted to do the potato thing.
Yeah.
It has to work, obviously.
If it can't just be a lie on television.
Yeah, if it's working in TV,
it has to be real. Yeah.
Yes.
I can fly if I think I put on a red cape.
Right.
No, I mean it has to work. I've seen.
It's a trope.
Yeah, I've seen it before though,
or
right?
Like it's like a thing. It's like a science project. So potatoes have.
Do you understand anything about the science behind it? Because I do not.
No.
Yeah, no.
If you
Too
do,
smart.
if any of you do,
Yeah. Write in.
Chris. Just
Elias, if you could send us an explanation.
Email us. Let us know why the potatoes.
But yeah, no. So she's staying there, and then it seems like Drew is really fantasizing about this woman in a way. He found their 7th grade notes to each other, like a Valentine. He says that she wrote the nicest thing that he's ever seen in a Valentine, and she reads it out loud, and it's just, I don't think you're fat. That's all it is. So, and he seems, she seems to be falling for him too in a way, and they make plans that night.
Yeah, she's being very sweet with him.
Sweet.
They're kissing a little bit.
And
it's like pecks in the cheek.
Right, little light stuff. But then he's like, we should go have a date. Like, we should go to dinner tonight. And she agrees.
Yeah.
And then Drew's really thrilled. He's singing a whole song about Kira as he's on his way out. And then he realizes as he goes outside,
his car isn't in the
91
garage.
Buick LeSabre is just gone. So, he calls. It's been repossessed because
he bounced another check.
Another check. She gave him an additional check that should have been a different account. It's all good.
Yeah, she said that she would make the money right when
Yeah.
they were at the Warsaw. She's like, I'll write you a check from my other account. It'll be fine.
And
bounced
that
that too.
also bounced. So then Drew's like, what the fuck? I've been scammed for sure.
Yeah.
He's really bummed about it. The other problem more immediately is Drew, I guess, was doing the carpool that day.
Yeah.
And had no car to pull in.
No.
So he gets Oswald to take everybody from Winfred Lauder in the UPS
What's it called
delivery
again?
truck.
Global
delivery.
Yeah.
The global delivery truck. And they're literally following his route. So in addition to getting to work, they're also going along and
not only that,
packages off.
he's got him running out packages.
He's got Drew running packages out.
Wick ran like a package out to some guy who had a bunch of hounds, as he called them.
Yeah.
Hounds is such like either a rich guy or a British guy.
Or
way to
both.
describe
Or a
the
rich British
dogs.
guy.
And then he has Drew drop off this delivery. And
this is a weird one, and I think it's also another one that shows the datedness of this. But he has Drew run out a package to, and Drew's like, "What's the catch?" Because he just saw what happened.
And he's like, "No, there's no catch."
It's fine. And Drew goes up to deliver, and meanwhile Oswald fills in Wick. There's a very attractive woman at the front door that gets very affectionate. It seems like when Drew comes back with lipstick on his lips and all this stuff. That's not a woman. It's a trans woman. So Drew then finds out he's been making out with a guy.
Yes.
And freaks out and is disgusted. And they're like, yeah, he's really happy when he gets his estrogen.
Yeah. Everyone laughs at Drew for kissing
a trans woman.
A trans woman. Yes.
It's it's 1996.
To be clear, they don't refer to them as a trans woman.
No,
either.
and we
they
don't
just
get
call
any.
him a man.
Yeah, they don't get any slurs either, which I guess is the most you could ask for out of this.
Yeah,
is that
I
we're not
guess.
just dropping.
You can misgender them, but you can't call them anything insulting. That's the standard for them
the
at
ABC
this point.
Warner Brothers promise.
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we go then. Where do we go?
We go at this point. Drew. We fast forward to the end of the day, and we're back home at Drew's, and
he's with Kate.
Where he's with Kate.
Yeah.
And they walk in, and that's where we run into Kira, and he loses it on her.
He's
like,
unloading.
"You're still here." Mm-hmm. You ripped me off. That second check bounced, and she's like, "Oh my God, I had no idea."
And
He must
took
have
both.
He must have taken checks from that account too.
And Drew's not really buying it.
No, he's full of it, and he's kind of like backing her into the kitchen,
Right.
where we come to find out
A full dinner spread has been set.
she cooked ham, ribs, potatoes, no vegetables.
Until we see beer battered broccoli. Fuck, man. I like broccoli to begin with. I would fuck with some beer battered broccoli.
Well, that's like, you ever just have when they do buffalo cauliflower?
No.
So they'll do like they'll deep fry cauliflower.
Yeah, and then toss it in
and
sauce.
then toss it in buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
It's like a substitute for chicken. It's honestly great. I mean, it's just it's similar consistency to chicken, and it's fucking buffalo sauce.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, like Drew, I think I hear the word cauliflower and I go, I'm good.
Yeah.
Give me the real thing. But, I got to add it. But, yeah, so Drew's now kind of back on her side.
Yeah.
Flattered at the least that she made dinner. And in addition to this, he gets a knock on the door, and I didn't get the name. I want to say his name was like Carl or something.
Yeah, he was kind of nameless to me. Big guy, though. Tall.
Yeah, big, tall guy. We learned that this is her roommate. And he's come here because I guess during the day, Kira was going to try to, fuck with him a little bit to, get him to stop writing all these checks. And he works at a toll booth. So she just parked a car in the middle of his toll booth.
Yeah.
Along the border to Pennsylvania or whatever. And
it was on the Ohio Turnpike.
It was on the
so
Ohio
wherever
Turnpike.
the Ohio to Pennsylvania Turnpike switches.
And he was less than thrilled that his toll booth was just blocked up all day. And yes, Drew gives him a piece of his mind and kind of stands up for Kira and himself to an extent.
Yeah.
And just completely,
Another one of those moments where at first you're like, damn, Drew, okay, standing it, because he does the same thing with, what was it, Kate's
ex-boyfriend
season.
and everything.
Yeah.
But the psycho shit that I thought he did here was he's so mad he throws his ham on the ground. He's like, you want to see how mad I am? And he takes the ham and he just chucks it on the ground. He's like, that was my dinner.
Yeah. And now I'm mad.
Now I'm mad.
Yeah.
So the guy ends up taking cash out, paying it to Kira, and then just on his way,
Yeah.
And so then Drew and Kira celebrate. They start making out, and then they go up and they sleep together.
Yeah, Drew got lucky.
Drew got lucky with his junior high school sweetheart. Yeah. And so the next morning, he comes out and he's singing that song again about Kira, and all of his furniture's gone.
Yeah, he comes down. He comes downstairs, and Lewis and Oswald are eating cereal on the rug in front of a TV that's on the ground.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, if she's gonna steal everything, it's very nice of her to at least keep the TV.
Well, we come to find out the TV can only change channels with the pliers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and she stole the pliers. She emptied his house, everything off the. Well, I guess not off the walls, but everything, all the furniture pieces.
The couch,
were gone.
the coffee table, the stereo, it's all gone.
Yeah.
So Drew's like, fuck, I really got fucked again.
She
here.
completely scammed
Kate
him.
comes in through the front door, and Kira had left a note, I guess, for Drew that was like, oh, we'll always have 5th grade, and then her full last name, and she misspells Sims, which is so then Drew realizes, oh, fuck, man, wait.
This wasn't even the right person.
Yeah, not only that, I was sleeping with a stranger. Hey, I slept with a stranger. But not only that, he's been conned the whole time. The toll booth guy was in on it too. He comes in to help her move furniture out, we hear from Lewis and Oswald.
Yeah.
So the whole thing's a lie, and Drew has been gotten by, he believes the inherent good in people, I think he says earlier in the episode.
The toll booth guy, I guess, was her brother.
Well, that's what they say. I don't know what's true anymore, but it seems like they were at least, working together.
It was a Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah.
Well, a Bonnie and Guy, right? Because Bonnie and Clyde are both
I guess
women,
right?
Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Oh no! Now we don't know anything about Bonnie and Clyde either. We're the least educated podcast.
No, we know. We know this, and we're letting you hang on expense.
Just being like, oh man, of course they know that Bonnie and Clyde are two women.
Bonnie and Clyde that is a man and a woman.
No. What am I thinking of then? What's the movie where the two women drive off the cliff with the car? Fuck.
I don't know. Did they make a like a 2024 version of Bonnie and
it's
Clyde?
like Ocean's 8, but it's just I don't know what I'm talking about. But
anyway.
So then Drew realizes at this point, well, at least, he'll be able to get insurance money for the things that have been stolen. And then we get another knock on the door. Oh, go ahead.
No, what my point was going to be after the knock on the door. So we get another knock on the door, and it's the police.
Yeah.
And they have found, he's like, excuse me, sir, have you...
or is this Drew Carey?
Is this Drew Carey? Do you have furniture missing today?
Mm-hmm.
And Drew turns around. He's like, what are you, a detective? Because his room is obviously empty. And at this point, I was like, wow, did they already file a police report? Like, what the fuck happened? So I guess what happened was they found a truck in one of the toll booths that got, well, right outside the toll booths is a callback to a complaint Drew had from earlier where, and I totally get it. Mm-hmm. These fucking toll booths, when you get to the other side, there's no lanes.
Yeah.
It's just madness.
Yeah.
Drew says it's a demolition derby, trying to funnel down into 2 or 3 lanes whenever you got like 8 toll booths.
Right.
So anyway, a truck carrying all of his furniture got in an accident trying to merge in with these lanes outside of toll booths.
Yeah. So that's how the cops got involved.
That's funny. 2, you're probably asking, how the hell did they know it was Drew's furniture?
Oh, this is my favorite part.
Drew has all of his furniture, I guess, is engraved.
He's carved his name into it. And not only that, it must be his full name. Like, not just Drew, it is Drew Carey carved into everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
Maybe his fucking address, too. I don't know. How the hell did they find him?
Well, how many Drew Careys can there be in Cleveland, Ohio,
I guess.
There's really only one.
There's only one that matters.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I too enjoy that he carved his name into all that, and that's how this state trooper found them. So yeah, anyway, they're gonna bring all of the crappy furniture back, and instead of getting the insurance money, Drew, if he can identify correctly who it was, gets $50. That's his reward. So Drew is like, I got screwed again, because not only did they steal all of his shit, he gets all of the shit back, and he gets $50 less money than he thought he was going to.
Yeah.
So that's how it ends. Well, actually, it really ends with Kate kicking a soccer ball right into. Why does he have a soccer ball?
I don't know. There was just a soccer ball in there, and like somebody was sitting on it at one point.
But anyway, then Kate kicks it right into the TV and breaks his television. Yeah. So that's how that ends. Before we get to the credit scene, we should probably go back and explain what this is. Because I forgot that this has happened. So they're at the Warsaw at the top of it, like waiting for this woman before any of this happens. And they're talking about Kate being frugal. And Drew mentions a story.
Haven't you ever heard the fable of the ant and the grasshopper? Yeah.
And Lewis is like, oh, no, what do you mean? I thought that was just Drug Coast specific. What do you mean? And he's like, no, it's like a fable. Like,
Yeah.
Which, by the way, do you know the ant and the grasshopper? I don't know what that is.
I don't know the ant.
I'm assuming it's like about taking what you can, or that.
Because grasshoppers can, I guess, carry. I mean, ants can carry like probably
10 times
or whatever their weight. Whatever that is.
But anyway, then we learn basically that Lewis lets out that Drug Co. has like a mutant ant and grasshopper situation where all of these creatures are just huge and crawling around. Anyway,
right.
It's kind of like just a non sequitur.
They kill someone?
Yeah, they killed Drug Co. scientists or something.
Also, first time we've been inside Drug Co.
Yes, so the credit scene, we see Lewis sweeping around in Drug Co. at night, which is his job as the janitor.
Yeah.
And we just see a shadow on the wall behind him of a giant, creepy, crawly creature. It kind of looks like a caterpillar, I guess.
Yeah.
And
no, it looked like an ant.
Oh, it looked like an ant to you?
That was definitely an ant.
Because that's not a grasshopper.
He had the joke about the you're going to the company picnic, right?
Yeah. So anyway, he's like, hey, buddy, calm down. So we see Drug Co. and we see the giant ant that he had spoken about earlier.
Yeah.
What a weird fucking show this is sometimes. That he just...
That was just a little button.
Just a nice little button. So, yeah. Solid stuff. I gotta be honest. Solid episode, solid writing. I like that we had the. I think my favorite is probably the fart episode. If I had to,
yeah, the fart episode.
5 years old.
I do just like the farting.
Yeah.
The second one, like I said, it threw me a little bit because I was just like, wow, I didn't expect Drew. I mean, I guess you had to figure it was going to get resolved somehow,
right?
But it was so close to the end of the episode. I'm like, did Drew just like lose everything and they're just gonna like let it hang?
Yep. Well,
but he did get scammed.
Yeah, we've been in situations where we let like Drew off on a way, like him losing his house to his parents and everything.
Yeah,
we've been in I wouldn't be surprised if he had to get all new furniture or something like that was how it resolved.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, so that's that for these episodes.
Yeah, that's that, guys.
Thanks for listening. Again, if you like us, you can follow us on Instagram at Cleveland Rocks Podcast.
Please do.
Subscribe to the pod. Give us a nice little rating if you don't mind.
Shoot us an email.
ClevelandRocksPodcast@gmail.com. And I think that covers it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.